So now let's concentrate on the actual hand part. Well, I don't suppose it's really the hand that we're making move. It's just one digit of the hand, the finger, if you like. But in robot terms, in real life, this part here, the moving end, is usually called an end effector, which is a very strange name, an end effector. And it might have two little sort of pinching grabs like that, or it might have a complete set of sort of multi fingers, all that work together. Anyway, this finger or part of the hand, we've got to make it move. We've got the lever already attached to actually operate it. And now I've positioned the string. As you can see, I've altered the position of the string. I tried it once and found a way to improve it. We'll talk about that in a second. And now let's just get the string in the right tension. Well, at the moment, it isn't tied, but we want it to be able to close completely, and we want it to be able to open. So what we'll do is, look, we'll try and set the position of this lever so that it's ready for us to pull it back or push it that way, and then open. Okay, so I'll just do that loop of tape again, and then we can sort that out later. So we'll put a tiny bit of tape on, remember. Let's have a look. And we can change that later. Oh, by the way, we've already secured the tape for the that finger, so that's not going to move. This one is. So you're tempted to cut the string off, but we might need it, so we'll just leave it for now. Right, here we go then. So let's operate the lever at this end. Okay, now let's push it back. Well, of course, string can't push, can it? String only works when it's in tension, when we're trying to stretch it, and that's when it can give a pulling force on the end that's attached there, look. So it can only give a pulling force, it can't give a pushing force. So we've got to have another way to return that finger to the closed position. And again, look at the materials we've got. An elastic band is a possibility. Now, with elastic bands, you might find they're a little bit too tight, and these materials are, they're not all that strong. So if you stretch the elastic bands a bit first, or one elastic band a bit first, stretch it, and you've effectively weakened it, then you can practice with, or try with, just looping it around a couple of times like that, and then saying, well, will it actually return? So can you see it's starting to work? Let's get that string out of the way there. It's starting to work. Now, the jaws, look, are being compromised by the elastic band. They're not going to work properly as jaws if they're in the way. So let's move the elastic band much further back. And now we'll give it a go. Well, it's starting, but it's not quite there. So now what we'll do, look, we'll put an extra loop in it. And that just takes the slack up in the elastic band. So we'll just pull out one loop, look, around it goes, take it all the way back, get the string out of the way. I think I might just put another little bit of tape on there to get that string out of the way. There it goes. And now the jaw is fully closed. Let's just try it by hand. There we go. Hopefully it'll grab onto something. Oh, not quite. We'll improve that in a minute. And now we should be able to pull on that string. Uh-oh. Now I can feel that I'm pulling really tightly on that string and it isn't working. See, the problem we've got is it's the actual position of the string in relation to the rest of the lever, and in particular the pivot. At the moment we're pulling on that string in that direction, so this lever is making us pull the string that way. And what we're trying to do, it's as if we're saying, look, we're going to pull the whole piece of this plastic finger towards the pivot. Now the pivot's the part that lets it rotate, but it won't let it completely change its position to a new place. It lets the lever rotate around it. And we're not pulling in the right direction to make that happen. In order to make this lever pull open to let us put the object in, a force has to be applied pulling this way. So just try it. Look, let's just push against it. Yeah, that works really easily and stretches the elastic band. But we're not doing that. We're applying a force pulling that way. So that's never going to work. All it's going to do is it'll buckle and break the strips, damage the strips. So can you see that's why I was fiddling about with the positions of these pivots here? And what about the position of the actual pivot for the main pivot for the lever? So a bit more trial and error. Let's pop that one out. There it goes. And if we, just like I've moved this position away from the center, if we move the pivot position away from the center the opposite way, then what that does is creates a little bit of distance away from the pivot, not in line with it, that lets us pull it round. So let's give that a try. Now even this might not be far enough, but let's give it a go. Oh, remember to use that blue tack. There it goes. Oops, wrong way around. So let's just have a look now. The string where we're applying the force to pull the lever down is now further down from the position of the pivot. And that means the pulling force, there we go, look, the pulling force is partly this way in the direction that we needed. Now that's exaggerated by the lever, and we could actually make the string for the lever come further out. It would alter the angle of the string, and that would make it even easier to pull. I think it's going to work like this, but we'll give it a try. So let's make that loop around there again. I think, did it have to be twice round? I think it did, didn't it? So let's do that and then pull it again. Bring that down. I think that's still a bit too tight, so I'll just stretch it a bit more there. That's better. Okay, let's give it a try. So we might just be far enough away from that pivot now. There we are. Now if the whole of this strip had been made in a wider material, then it wouldn't have been a problem having that pivot further away. We're at the extreme of how far we can put it, and we're at the extreme of how far we can move this one as well. So what we've learned is the pivot position in relation to the string that's going to make the lever operate is really important, and you need a gap that allows you to exert a force on the lever which is away from the pivot and sort of in this direction. So we need a pulling force that's going to do this, look. And for that, you've got to have this sort of offset between where the fastener is and where the position point of attachment of the string is. That could be solved, as I say, by changing the shape of this strip. Anyway, let's just give it a try now. There's our object. Let's stand it up, make life easier for us. Open, close. Oh, it's trying so hard. Oh, it's just not strong enough. The clamping force that the elastic band's providing isn't enough. Let's try it sideways. Oh, it's only just managing to do that. Only just managing to do it. So there's something to work on. The elastic band, the lever position, and the possible redesign of this part.